What's going on, guys? Hey, it's Anthony with the Wrenched Out Garage. We're back working on the Camaro SS. We've got a cool, simple upgrade that we're going to do to the front grille today, so stay tuned. Alright guys, so thanks for tuning back in, and today we've got a simple upgrade that we're going to do to the front grille on the Camaro. And we do know that obviously there's a lot of options out there when it comes to upgrades for the grille. Chevy makes a fantastic option for the grille, the 50-year, and they have a lot of other options. We also know that aftermarket there is just a ton of them. But because we ordered and we're looking for some of those options, we decided that why not try out the 6LE Designs decal strips. And this is what this looks like. So we opted for the decals that actually go into the front lower. So it simulates similar to what you get from GM and some of the other guys, but at a fraction of the cost. We went ahead and went with the Nightfall Gray, as it does match our hash mark. However, this is a flat color. It doesn't have the flake in the graphic, so there it is right there, which is okay. I mean, the colors, if you can see it there, it's essentially a flat gray versus the kind of shiny metallic style gray, which is fine. But ultimately, what 6LE Designs does is they have them all cut, and they actually send you a bunch. So feel free to test this out before you install it, because you will be wrapping it kind of in that inner fascia portion, which is a little bit of a tougher area to be putting a decal of any kind. Just like the other ones, I would say that this is a dry install, so make sure you clean out the inner fascia as best as you possibly can so you get full adherence of this, and so the graphic is nice and smooth. These are pretty cheap. I'll put links to these and 6LE Designs website down below. We did purchase these. This is not a paid advertisement, or they didn't send us these for free. So this is out of our pocket. We're going to do an install video on them and then take a look and see how it turns out. But ultimately, they did send us 6. We, as mentioned earlier, we're still waiting on some parts from them, but they shipped these out pretty darn quick. So we were super happy with that. So one of the styling things we are doing with our Camaro is obviously we got the hashtags, or the hash marks. I don't know why I keep calling them hashtags, but we got the hash marks. We blacked out the chrome on the front, that little strip right below the light. So if you didn't see that video, I'll put a link to that above, which was also from 6LE Designs. And then we're gonna do this. And what we're looking to do with the Camaro is really kind of accent and add a little bit of color to it, but not a whole lot. Obviously, this is just gonna cover the flat black inner design of the grille area, so it's not quite as dramatic as some of the other things that we've done or that we're going to do to the car. One thing I did mention earlier is we are thinking about taking off the chrome badge, and more than likely we're going to go to chrome, or not, excuse me, we're going to get rid of the bright or chrome lug nuts and go to a straight black there. Now, I'm not trying to suicide it all out, obviously, because we have the Nightfall Gray going into it, but what we're trying to do is kind of build off of just the beauty of the car itself with similar accenting throughout it without going way too far, because cars that we've owned and then cars that obviously we participate in a lot of forums between Reddit and Facebook, to where, in our opinion, guys just go way overboard where it's one color or two colors or chrome or whatever it is, to where ultimately you lose kind of the styling of the car. So we're trying to keep it to where there's some subtle color gradients or color variations throughout it, to support where we're going with it. Now, Nightfall Gray, the reason we chose this for the hash mark and then obviously for this is this is a 1SS, so you do have kind of the light gray accenting on the inside. So we thought, why not go with kind of a medium, slightly dark gray on the outside, just so everything kind of flows and looks like it's supposed to be there. That's kind of our goal. So again, 6LE Designs got us these. They do offer just an incredible amount of colors. So if you're interested in these, again, the link's below. I think they said they can do up to 130 plus different colors. You just send them what you want when you order these. These are pretty darn cheap. So check these guys out for sure. And if you're not familiar with 6LE Designs, I'll say it in this video as I did in the last. These are the guys that brought out the IROC in the 6th gen, and man, did they do a fantastic job. We are a huge fan of the designs. We're a huge fan of these guys. They're a small family ran business, so they have our full support when we're looking for parts. They're one of the first guys that we go to, at least for the Camaro. So we do appreciate their quality and what they're doing, very much so. So let's dive into this though right now. All right, guys, so obviously we're down here at the lower portion of the car. Not a lot of room to work with because the garage isn't too big to be doing this, but we're gonna try to show you guys kind of where it lays. So right here, oops, right back here where it kind of swoops up is where this bad boy's gonna lay. So ultimately the goal is to get this guy to line up with the indent right here on the front. And I know it's kind of difficult to see, but then it'll wrap under and kind of wrap right up into the grill itself. So if you take a look, I'll just grab the camera here and I'll show you more or less on what I'm talking about. I know it's really dark, but as you can see, this groove that goes up right here, that's where this bad boy's gonna start. It's gonna start there, kind of wrap just like that right under it, giving it kind of an inner, that inner color. And so what we're gonna do, just like always, I already cleaned the front of this, I already cleaned the front inner fascia area where we're gonna be working. So make sure that if you're gonna work on your car, especially with a decal or anything of the sort, that you go ahead and clean this bad boy out, because the last thing you want to do is to do an insert or put a decal on and then you have a clump of dirt or debris or it doesn't adhere correctly. It's very important that you take a couple of minutes and then try to do this, because if you don't, then you're going to pay for it down the road and it's not going to do exactly what it is you want to do. So again, we already kind of wiped this out, cleaned it out. And most of the time, well, actually all of the time, you should not only clean it, you don't want to have waxes or anything on it as well. What you do want to have, though, is you want to make sure and wipe it down with some rubbing alcohol or something of that nature. So let's go ahead. We do have some extras just in case we do screw this up. So take your time. Like we always say, take your time when you're doing this. And because this one's so long, what I'm going to attempt to do is kind of pull it off. And you can do this in sections. Normally, that's what I would do. Oops. Is to do it in sections. But because we're doing a video here, I'm going to try to do it, see if I can get it correct on the first go. So I'm going to start this one up right on the bend, just like that. Oops. Let's kind of see how it lays. Try not to, now you can move these graphics around a little bit, but try not to bend them, because you'll get a funny crease in it. All right, guys, so we just wrapped up this side, and what we ended up doing is starting with half of it. And what I mean by starting with half of it, I pulled half of it back, cut it with scissors, so I could really get this front side kind of knocked out. So let's take a look at it right there. And you can see it kind of wraps up. It's a little bit brighter there, and then kind of cuts up here. But it does look very nice, and it's still, I'm still pressing it in a little bit. Let's see if you can see, there you go. You can see it a little bit better right there. So you can see kind of the accenting gray kind of riding right under it right there. So there it is. I'm gonna go ahead and knock out the other side. Again, this isn't a huge, it's not a huge upgrade. It's not a world-breaking deal. Pretty simple though. Again, we went for the Nightfall Gray. They do have it in over 130 colors. Take your time if you're gonna do that install. And again, the links for it are below. We'll get some photos for our Instagram and our Facebook here once we wrap up. And then we'll show you guys, so stick around to the end of the video. We'll add a clip to show you what it actually looks like on the car. But that's pretty much it. 6LE Designs are the guys that made that for us. And we think it looks great. It's a simple, cost-effective way to kind of add some color or a little bit of variation to the front grille of your car. So we've got a lot of cool things coming to the Camaro build. We're just knocking out some of the small things because obviously the car's parked for the most part in the good old garage during winter. So thank you guys for tuning in as always. Don't forget to check us out on Instagram, Facebook, and all over the place. Again, I can't stress it enough. If you guys are looking for these parts, check out 6LE Designs. Links are below. Until next time, drive safe, and we'll see you guys around.